Brad Pitt has dated some of the most famous women in Hollywood. But strangely, almost every major relationship in his life eventually turned into a public war. From Jennifer Aniston to Angelina Jolie, the endings rarely stayed private for long. And looking back now, there may have been one pattern connecting all of them that most people completely ignored. For decades, Brad Pitt represented something almost impossible in Hollywood. He wasn't just successful. He became the image of the perfect movie star, charismatic, calm, attractive, and seemingly untouchable. But behind that carefully protected image, another pattern slowly followed him throughout his career. His relationships rarely ended quietly. Instead, they often became emotional public battles filled with media speculation, fan divisions, accusations, and years of discussion that refused to disappear. And strangely, the bigger the relationship became, the worse the fallout seemed to get. But the first major warning signs may have started long before Angelina Jolie ever entered the picture. When Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston became a couple in the late 1990s, Hollywood immediately treated them like royalty. Jennifer Aniston was already America's sweetheart because of Friends, while Brad Pitt had become one of the biggest actors in the world. Together, they looked almost too perfect to be real. Every red carpet appearance felt cinematic. Every interview generated headlines. And slowly, millions of fans emotionally invested themselves in the relationship. That emotional investment changed everything. Because once the public turns a celebrity couple into a fantasy, people stop seeing them as normal human beings. They become symbols. And symbols are dangerous because audiences expect them to stay perfect forever. But behind the glamorous image, subtle differences between Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston were already beginning to surface. At first, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston seemed balanced. Jennifer projected warmth, stability, and emotional familiarity. Brad Pitt carried the mysterious movie star energy Hollywood constantly romanticized. But over time, their lifestyles appeared increasingly different. Jennifer Aniston seemed deeply connected to routine and stability, while Brad Pitt often appeared drawn toward reinvention, unpredictability, and emotional intensity. At the time, few people paid attention to those differences because the public was too focused on the fantasy surrounding them. But sometimes, relationships slowly collapse long before the public notices anything is wrong. And then, everything changed with one movie. Because the moment Brad Pitt met Angelina Jolie on screen, Hollywood's biggest relationship controversy quietly began. When Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie appeared together in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, audiences immediately noticed the chemistry. It didn't feel subtle. It felt explosive. Almost instantly, rumors began spreading that emotional boundaries may have already been crossed before Brad Pitt's marriage officially ended. Whether those rumors were fully true or not, public opinion formed quickly. And suddenly, the relationship stopped being viewed as a private emotional situation. It became a morality story. Jennifer Aniston became the sympathetic figure. Angelina Jolie became the disruptive outsider. And Brad Pitt found himself directly in the center of a global media storm. The public emotionally divided into sides. And years later, people still debate that relationship timeline. But strangely, the controversy surrounding Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie only made their relationship even more powerful. Despite the criticism surrounding their beginning, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie eventually became one of the most famous celebrity couples in the world. Together, they projected adventure, passion, glamour, and emotional intensity. They traveled internationally, built a massive family, worked on humanitarian causes, and constantly attracted global attention. At some point, their relationship stopped feeling like a normal romance. It became a global brand. And that may have been the real problem. Because once relationships become brands, every emotional struggle becomes public entertainment. Every disagreement becomes a headline. Every rumor becomes a global discussion. And over time, the pressure becomes almost impossible to escape. Then in 2016, the relationship finally collapsed, and the fallout became far more serious than most people expected. When Angelina Jolie filed for divorce, the media exploded almost immediately. Reports involving family tension, arguments, parenting disagreements, and legal conflict quickly dominated headlines around the world. Unlike the Jennifer Aniston breakup years earlier, This separation carried a darker emotional tone. And once again, the public divided emotionally. Some defended Brad Pitt. Others strongly supported Angelina Jolie. Online discussions became emotional, aggressive, and deeply personal. But what made this breakup especially intense was how emotionally attached audiences already were to the relationship itself. For over a decade, fans had watched Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie build an identity together. People believed in the relationship emotionally. So when it collapsed, the public reacted almost like something personal had been destroyed. And looking back now, that emotional reaction may reveal the real reason Brad Pitt's relationships always became public battles. The real pattern may not simply involve heartbreak. It may involve impossible expectations. For decades, Brad Pitt represented the image of the perfect Hollywood man, calm, attractive, emotionally intelligent, and stable. But once someone becomes heavily idealized, audiences struggle to accept flaws or emotional complexity. The moment cracks appear, people immediately search for someone to blame. Who changed? Who betrayed who? Who caused the breakup? And because Brad Pitt's relationships involved some of the most famous women in Hollywood, the emotional reactions became even larger. The public wasn't just following celebrity relationships anymore. They were emotionally projecting themselves into them. But there was another reason these breakups became impossible to escape, and it had everything to do with modern celebrity culture itself. Brad Pitt experienced relationship drama during the exact moment celebrity culture became increasingly invasive. During the early 2000s, tabloids exploded. Then social media completely transformed celebrity discussions forever. Fans no longer consumed celebrity news quietly. They participated in it. People defended favorite celebrities online, analyzed interviews frame by frame, and created emotional narratives around relationships they had never personally witnessed. Even tiny moments became viral discussions. A facial expression during an interview. An awkward red carpet interaction. A rumor posted online. Suddenly, everything carried emotional meaning. This made privacy almost impossible. And once relationships lose privacy, emotional conflict often becomes amplified beyond control. Which may explain why people still remain fascinated with Brad Pitt's relationships years later.